Hi everyone. So here we are, week 6 in Leading by Serving, and today I'm going to take the opportunity to discuss some key issues of leading by serving. But first and foremost, just to begin this video, I'd like to take the time to talk about how my understanding of servant leadership has developed over this short period of time in this class, and how the resources and TED Talks and everything else has been so enlightening and been enriching and has helped to develop my understanding of servant leadership. Going into this class, initially, everybody has an idea of leadership in general. However, applying the servant aspect to it, my basic and simplest understanding was that a servant leader is a servant first. However, as I've gone through the course, I've understood and have had the opportunity to entertain the idea that servant leadership is being much more than just a servant. It's actually much more complicated and difficult and challenging of a prospect than one would initially guess, based off of the easy definition that's provided when you look it up. But when you really look into it, you realize that the reason why it's so unique and dynamic is because of the fact that that's the way people are. And the truth of the matter is that when it comes to leading by serving, one of the biggest issues is that people are hard. People ask a lot of questions. They ask, why should I trust you? They ask, do you care about me? They ask, what about my interests? And as a leader, sometimes you're more focused on the main mission for your business or your church or your university, but you don't take the time to stop and ask those questions, and those are the questions that are most important to your employees and are most important in you helping those employees to develop and grow under your watchful eye. So to dive into the topic, I think it's appropriate to address the greatest servant leadership in the history of humanity, and that was Jesus Christ. So for Jesus, how he reached out to people, it was a very specific and calculated way. Taking a look at Wilkes' writings, he uses an acronym SERVE, which stands for spiritual gifts, experiences, relational style, vocational skills, and enthusiasm. Those are all traits and attributes that Jesus Christ himself used to reach out to people, to help others grow in their Christian faith. It's something that puts humans first. There is no mission that's more important than taking care of those who are following you. However, on the other hand, in the modern day world, there's other dynamics that we have to take into consideration, just because of the pure nature of this technology-driven world that we live in. So, for example, we take a look at Collins' hierarchy, which does a great job of addressing one problem that may come up as you try to develop as a servant leader, is that it takes time to develop as a truly efficient servant leader. And while Collins' hierarchy isn't specifically orientated towards servant leadership, the level 5 hierarchy, executive, has a lot in common with those servant leadership. So what might that progression look like as a servant leader? I think using Collins' hierarchy is a really good example. So, for example, starting off at level 1, a highly capable individual is someone who makes productive contributions. They're helping with the overall goal. Eventually, they help out enough and they become efficient at their job and they become a contributing team member. They have the ability to contribute to the overall achievement of the group. They don't just make a productive contribution here and there. They're actively searching for ways that they can improve the group around them. At that point, some people may go on to become competent managers. They have the capacity to organize people and resources to accomplish goals. The next step would be level 4, which is an effective leader, who is someone who pursues a clear and compelling vision and also helps stimulate the entire group as a whole to perform. So not only are they still making those same contributions, they're still contributing to the achievement of the overall group, but they're helping the people be organized and use the resources in an efficient manner and helps push them to pursue that same vision. And the fifth and final level which has the most in common with a servant leadership, is an executive. An executive is somebody who builds enduring greatness. So what does that mean? That means that they have the capacity to not only contribute to the groups and make their contributions, but they're able to help others become servant leaders. Now, why is there a problem with Collins hierarchy? There is a difficult time of maintaining a balance between the efficiency of the company and helping others grow. So it takes a long time before you get to a level where you're able to help others grow. And that's where Greenleaf's version of servant leadership really starts to develop as a picture that is a balance between Jesus Christ's servant leadership and a combination of Collins hierarchy, which allows us to put it in and use it as a contemporary application. So, Greenleaf's version is a combination of the two. He recognizes that there are a number of different factors that determine how servant leaders operate. For example, you have to take into consideration whether or not they're running a business, a university, a church, etc. Any person in a position of leadership, their day-to-day tasks that they're trying to accomplish are going to look different. Their day-to-day tasks, that their visions are going to look different. However, the common denominator between all of those factors is the fact that they're working with people. So, taking a look in Greenleaf's text on page 76, he addresses the fact that it's difficult to be a servant leader by yourself. Working with people is a necessity. Page 76, Greenleaf writes, "To be a lone chief atop a pyramid is abnormal and corrupting. None of us is perfect by ourselves, and all of us need the help and correcting influence of close colleagues." At the end of the day, servant leadership is not something that is easily applied in a way that you have success immediately. It's something that takes a long time to develop in terms of skills and working with other people. You have to develop relationships with the people that you're working with. You have to take into consideration the best interests of the company and the people and find a useful balance to help motivate those people. At the end of the day, Greenleaf writes that servant leadership is a philosophy and set of practices that enriches the lives of individuals, builds better organizations, and ultimately creates a more just and caring world. So, to wrap up this whole TED Talk, I discussed some key issues of leading by serving. The first example being that dealing with people is a difficult process because every single person is different. They question why they should trust you, they question if you actually care about them, and they question if you even care about their interests. It's a natural human need. People feel the need to belong. They feel the need to grow with others. They need to develop relationships. A second problem that I addressed is that it takes time to develop as a truly efficient leader, which is why I provided Collins hierarchy to show a small example of how somebody would go about progressing as a leader, eventually becoming somebody who has the capacity to help build other great leaders within a company. The third and final problem that I addressed within the talk is maintaining a balance between efficiency of your business and helping others grow. The truth of the matter is that it's a complicated task and it takes time to develop a balance between what's the best interest of the company and what's the best interest of the people. So I really hope that helps you understand some key issues that may come along with becoming a servant leader, and I also hope that it helps develop your understanding even further as a servant leader, and you can take some of those tidbits of information that I provided and go on and help others to grow. Thank you.